Welcome to Industry Vancouver, conversations about the residential real estate industry with Andrew Hasman and Jeff Bennett. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, it's been a while since we chatted, it seems. I've missed you.
And I missed you as well.
It's already February. The days are getting longer.
Yes. What a
Just around the
treat.
corner. And what a week. I was driving. It said 16 degrees in the car.
Mm.
And I was in my heavy jacket and I'm thinking, I was sweating. And I'm thinking, well, I'm sweating because it's like springtime outside. So I went for a beautiful walk up into Kerrisdale. The greenway was packed with people. I saw a few clients. And, it makes us grateful when you think about how beautiful our city is. And the winters here are so short.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And the rest of Canada is buried under in snow. And here we are in Lotus Land. And it's perfect.
Yeah. So, has there been any new conversation about what's going to happen to the greenway, the walkway?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. So in the last couple of weeks, they've been putting up the metal fencing all along the greenway, sort of between, I would say, 42nd and just to the other side of 41st, because they are starting to do some work and it's starting. So I don't know if that's a beautification project.
Okay.
But yes, there's some work going on as we speak. They put in a few new asphalt pathways. So I think they're going to be beautifying the area right around the 41st intersection
Oh,
and just
great.
north and south of the greenway. So excited to see what they're doing. It's
Yeah.
about time. And it's amazing. I'm on the greenway every day.
Well,
And
I
I
think
for
freaking
friends, I
reason
see
for you,
clients,
right?
and it's so nice. I mean, it's a community gathering spot, right? Everyone loves it.
Well, and I think it's such a value add for the homes that are in close proximity to it because you can get out, you can be mobile, you can get moving, you can connect to all the different hotspots on the west side.
Oh yeah.
And because it used to be a train path, it's fairly level. Like it's an easy grade to make your way up across the west side, right?
Look, I've typed it. It's 18 minutes from my house to London Drugs. It's 11 minutes to the dollar store.
Yeah.
10 minutes to Save on Foods. Doesn't get much better than that. Save on Foods, dollar store, London Drugs. What else do you need?
That's it.
Right?
Totally. We're all
But no,
dialed in.
it's for Kerrisdale, what a great thing. And of course, it goes beyond Kerrisdale all the way down into Kitsilano and such. But for people that live in our little neck of the woods, it's great for the community.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was your experience of the January market?
No surprise. Yeah. We weren't that busy. I'll say we were busy. We were busy meeting clients.
Yes.
Everyone wants to know what's going on. I mean, they know what's going on, but they want to hear it from us because we're kind of boots on the ground. But we have a lot of appointments with clients. Yeah, trying to figure out what their plans are. A little bit shocked to see what valuations are today, say, versus where they were a year or two ago. But overall activity, yeah, definitely muted. Personally, not a lot of sales transactions. We had offers, and in some cases weren't able to put them together. Buyer showings quite a lot down. And so the stats that came up by the real estate board a couple of days ago sort of were confirming what those stats were from our perspective. What about you?
We had a very similar kind of a January. Lots of meetings with clients, and interestingly, very on theme with what we were talking about at the end of 2025. Lot of first-time buyers, a lot of parents, grandparents calling and saying, hey, let's have this conversation. Let's see what are appropriate, like what's the next step for kids and them thinking about getting into the market. Additionally, a lot of our old clients who have been in properties for a little while, and now they're ready to trade up. Now they're ready for some more space. They're looking around saying, oh my gosh, like I had no idea. I went and I saw this house and it was like, I couldn't believe the value. So there's been a marked improvement in the sort of next step up availability and value. And there's always that conversation is you're not going to get as much as you thought you might have for your place that you're leaving. But the good news is, like we've always talked about, that gap is a lot less. So a lot of first time buyers conversations, a lot of trade up conversations, and then peppered amongst that, a lot of people who are just finished with properties and they're ready to move on. They've had great increases in equity over the years, and now they're just going on to other projects, other homes, that sort of thing. So, exactly as we had hoped that people would see the value in the marketplace and what's actually transpiring, we're actually seeing them sort of flow through on that.
So I guess people are, the big thing is the BC assessments came out in early January. That's when, of course, we always get a bubble of phone calls. People want
Yeah.
to know, well, is that what my property's worth? Many of them went down. Most went down by as much as, I think 15% was kind of on the high end.
Yeah.
Actually, a few actually went up, which was a little bit surprising. I don't know why they would have gone up, but for the most part, all went down. And people having to grapple with that change. And I think everyone knew their assessments were going to come down, but still, when you see it on paper,
Yeah.
it can be, if your home was assessed, we had a property that we have listed, and their assessment went down by $500,000 from 5.7 to 5.2. Pretty
Yeah.
big. But the home is on the market right now for 4.7,
Yeah.
and it's not selling. So it's obviously below that. And
Yeah.
so the assessments in many cases are still not where they need to be. But anyway, those assessments are also based on July of
Last year.
in a big drop. So
The
you're
other,
right.
the other thing too, Andrew, and I'm
Yeah.
sure you've seen this, when the market's going,
Yeah.
well, the assessments oftentimes will lag behind.
Yeah.
And then when the market has gone over the top of a hump like it did 2 or 3 years ago now,
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a while for things to catch up. The assessment just after the peak, a lot of it's the valuation on the assessment is here.
Yeah.
The actual value is gone.
It's a lag time effect. So
Yeah.
if people can get over the hurdle of, yes, the property is not worth the same as it was a year ago, but if you sort of back up and look at the total picture and say, okay, my home is no longer worth 3 million, it's only worth 2.7.
Mhm.
Put that out of the picture for a minute and say, well, what am I trying to achieve here? Am I going down? Am I going up? What's the reason I might be thinking of selling? And if you sort of look at the big picture and then do the math using the big picture, like you said, in many cases, it's all very doable.
Yeah.
And if you get into a stage in life where you're at retirement or you're beyond retirement, you may be in your senior years, you don't have time to wait for the next cycle up,
No.
right? You want to move on in the next, so we've got a lot of retired clients, senior clients, that they understand the market's gone down, but they want to get on with their lives because they can't live in a home that's 3 levels anymore.
Yeah.
2 people living in 4,000 square feet. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
So they're moving on.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? There's 2 questions. Do you want to let the market tell you what to do? Or how long can you really wait? And
Yeah.
how much lifestyle do you want to trade for waiting?
Yeah. So I think it's all about just sort of getting people to look at the big picture, not just what the home is worth, but what does the math look like in the big picture? And then what are our clients' specific circumstances? And why are we having this meeting in the first place?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And I think for the most part, when you and I mean, I know you and I approach it maybe a little differently than many other agents, but when I go, and I'm sure when you go too, you're like, okay, what's the issue here? What are we trying to solve?
Yeah.
And how can we offer that value, that insight, that I want to say almost contrarian view sometimes to give people, not that they need permission, but sometimes it can be a thing. Like if you've been in a house for 40, 50, 60 years and you think, oh my gosh, you know what? It was worth so much more 18, 24 months ago. And yeah, it is worth less, but it's still worth a lot. And sometimes it's okay just to say, gosh, you know what? If now's the time, let's go ahead and do it. And here's the thing that we're going to do to absolutely maximize the value that you're getting out of it. And by approaching it with that personalized problem solving lens, it makes for a much better transition, a much better transaction. And really, I think that's the big difference for you and I, that we're coming to this. It's not about us. It's about whatever your issue is, how can we help you solve it? And how can we put that 30 plus years of experience and thousands of transactions negotiating to work for you so that you can actually do better and achieve what you want to do, and not lose sight of what the ultimate thing is you need a house to live in, you need a house as investment to pay you cash flow. Those things don't change, and thankfully they haven't changed that much so that you can take advantage of it.
You know, All well said. And the fact you're drinking a cup of tea just made me think of this. And it's a bit of a funny side note to this is we had a situation a couple of weeks ago where we had 3 appointments back to back. And during each appointment, we were offered tea, biscuits, coffee, cake. And I actually really went for it. And I had tea, coffee, biscuits, and cake at every appointment. And by the end of the day, I said, Jill, I said, you know what? I'm not even hungry for dinner. She said, that's because you've been eating cake and cookies all
Yeah, that's
afternoon.
right.
You know, but the cake and cookies and the tea or coffee always makes for better conversation.
Absolutely does. You know what? The more comfortable, the more sort of open, the more I just want to say transparent and forthcoming and whatever everybody is, like including the agent as far as what their insight is. And, I mean, we're not therapists, but sometimes it feels like that.
Well, we're great information providers and providing perspective. And I know this is definitely the case with you, Jeff, and myself, because we've got, many of the people that we go see are clients that we've known for 10,
Ever.
15, 20 years, right? Forever. So they're not just clients, they're people that we've become friends with, right? It's just that conversation. And it's just all about providing great information for people. It's like, at the end of the conversation, we thought we've added value. Everyone's clear on what's going on and that we can move forth with a lot more confidence. And it's just a better, it's a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's good.
So great place for the disclaimer.
Yeah. You say it, Jeff.
We want to offer relevant, actionable information. This is not investment advice. We're better realtors than accountants, lawyers, financial advisors, and therapists. Full disclosure, we do own Vancouver real estate. We like it when prices go up. We make a fee when we help you. And if you're enjoying this, forward it to a friend. What do the kids say? Smash that like button or subscribe.
So you just said something. So we love it when prices go up. We do love it when prices go up. But we're now in year 3 of prices going down.
Yes.
Well, it's been a while since prices went up. And I think that leads us into the next part of this. As January goes, they say the rest of the year may go, or at least the next 6 months goes.
Yeah.
What do you think on, so, January obviously finished off kind of where 2025 left off. A very subdued market, a cautious market. In some cases, no market, very, very few transactions, 28% down from last January.
Yes.
January, I remember there was a bit of a buzz at the beginning of the year because I was away at our house down south. And I remember writing up some offers. Everyone went through.
Yeah.
The market's actually off to a pretty good start. And then it came to a crashing halt because of what transpired with all the tariffs and all that sort of stuff. But got off to a pretty good start. But this January, sales down across the board about 28% from last year. It's a pretty big drop. And last year wasn't overall, I would say, a great January either. So how does that look going forward? What are your thoughts on that as far as where we go into the spring? To me, I think it definitely sets the tone. Is there anything out there? Is there any sort of catalyst that's going to get this market sentiment, this overall overcautiousness to change? Thoughts?
Yes. So I went back and did some comparison too, and I went all the way back to January of 2022 to see how many sales occurred in January, how many new listings there were in January, and what was the total active inventory. So when I compare this January, just over 1,100 sales, January 2023, when the market was, everybody thought amazing.
That was just before when did the rates started to go up? Like the rates started
Middle of 2023, I think.
Wasn't 2022 or 20?
Or maybe 2022. Yeah.
But it took a while for it, for obviously any adjustment to show up in statistics.
To calm
It
down.
was the lag effect, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in January of 2023, there was only about 7,500 listings. Now there's 12,500.
So not quite double, but a lot more.
Way more.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's interesting though, too, is new listings last year in the month of January, 5,566.
Yeah.
This year, a little bit less, 5,157. Now, out of the last 5 years, those are still the 2 biggest years.
Yeah.
And we've still got way more inventory this year than last year. So I think maybe people are being a little more cautious about relisting or putting their home on the market. We might start to see some more inventory come on. And the sales, I always say, or when people say to me, well, how do we know when, like, what's a great time to list? When's it sort of coming in? Anytime after Valentine's Day, because the market has sort of set itself up and
Yeah.
then we know what the spring is going to look like. So
Yeah. That makes sense.
I have noticed too, Andrew, that when great properties come on at good prices, they are still getting a lot of attention and a lot
Yes.
of action. I know,
You showed me a sale down in Kits on Valentine's.
I was just going to mention that one.
My God, big price. Big price.
So an older home
Yeah.
renovated.
California bungalow, wasn't it? Was that California bungalow or something like that?
And it was something like that. So it was
Yeah.
an older home with massive
Yeah.
renovation, north
Yeah.
of 4th, came on the market.
A tiny lot, right? Tiny lot.
Yeah, smaller lot, 33
Yeah.
by 100. Anyways, came on the market and
Yeah.
we went down to take a look at it and it was gorgeous. Like killer renovation, top quality, maybe not the cosmetic design choices that everybody would have made, but
But out of a magazine. Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
incredible. And anyways, I got there and there was a pile of shoes at the door. I thought, wow, what's happening? And I went inside and I'm there with my client and they're like, Jeff, this is really busy. Like I was kind of surprised. And I was like, oh, well, I am too. Anyways, competing offers, the market really just sort of came in and saw amazing value and like not easily replaceable. Like I said, very thoughtful, very well done, beautifully executed, incredible location. And it went a couple 100,000 or a quarter of a million over the asking price,
Over 4 million.
over 4 million. Yeah.
Okay. But let's be honest. Okay, realistically, how many homes show like that?
Not many. But if you're the owner of one, it's good news for you.
Yeah. So, as an example, if you can get your home to show even partly as good as that home, it just goes to show when it's magazine quality or something similar,
Yes.
wow, you can really in any market you can attract tremendous interest. But when I saw that sale, I went, wow, that is a big price for a small, tiny lot. Did it have a garage even?
There was a garage,
Okay.
fitted out like a studio, and
Okay.
lots of options if you wanted to reclaim it and sort of
Yeah.
move back into it.
But anyway, I just thought that was a big price. But that one just sort of jumped out at me and thought it was worth mentioning.
And you know what? We've seen it play out across more affordable properties, townhouses, that sort of thing. When the really good ones come up with a view, well presented, at the right price, we're still seeing a lot of action on those too, because
Yeah.
buyers, they recognize the value and they'll just move ahead with it. The
Yeah.
other thing, sellers, to their credit, the ones that want to get sold are making those moves to adjust the price to today's market. And
Yeah.
then the buyers recognize that almost instantly. And they'll come in and like water in a well, they lift it up to whatever the market price is. So I,
I would say if you're a buyer and you've looked at 6 or 8 homes in a specific neighborhood over a period of a few months, very quickly you get an idea of what market value is. You can recognize good value.
you really
Right.
do.
Yeah. And then that just creates that momentum if there's more people looking with the push the price up or get a deal done.
There's an old expression, Andrew, I'm sure you've heard it, that,
Yeah.
buyers are the best appraisers because they've been looking and they're going to be parting with their own money. Their radar is on and their lens is sharp. So when they come in, if they go, hey, this actually looks pretty good, it's good value.
They're the ones that are
Come in and
writing
say,
they're the
oh my
ones
gosh,
that are,
this is junk. You just like walk out, you leave,
they're
right?
the ones that are writing the check, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Vancouver East, we saw new listings, basically flat, 640, 648.
Yeah.
Vancouver East sales, 157 to 127, so down about 20%.
Okay.
Detached sales held up slightly on the east side, sort of in that low to mid 30s. Attached and condos softened, 55 to 41, 71 to 52. So the east side is not being, let's call it, rescued by a listing surge. It's demand stepping down, and the inventory that's available is just getting bought up at a little bit slower rate.
So how many months supply of detached on the east side now?
On the east side, I've got just about 12 months.
Okay. So it is a buyer's market at 12 months,
It's
right?
still definitely a buyer's market.
Okay.
I haven't done the stats for today yet, but last Friday, Vancouver West houses about 18 months supply. That was the highest. East side, Condos, including townhouses and half duplexes, was actually the lowest number, just over 8 months supply.
Yeah.
And Vancouver West condos with the same inclusions, just over 10 months supply.
So that market's fairly stable. It's local money. At the end, all the speculation's gone out of the market, right? I mean, are you seeing any investors nibbling? I'm seeing none. It's all people that need a place to live that are looking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's basically an end user driven market right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And this is where we're seeing, the trade up buyers and the first time buyers. People have been waiting for years for, prices to come down.
Yeah.
Here they are. Like, let's do
I call that an organic market. Real
Yeah.
buyers, real sellers, people that actually need to live in a place. Remember the day when the market was going gangbuster and more than half the people that came in were they had money because of their properties being worth so much money. They pulled out cash and they were just buying for investment. They never going to live in the place, right? Now it's people that actually, they're the ones that are looking. The investors are pretty well non-existent today. It's a real market.
Well, Andrew, I mean, you remember the pre-sales, right? Like
Yeah.
the big developers, they would call their favorite agent
Oh,
who
yeah.
had a list of 40, 50 investors who they worked with in the past. And they would just sort of line up for a private showing and they'd sell 20 or 30 units in an afternoon and away they go. So those days are gone. I think for the right product, people are still very keenly aware of it, but it's not investors stepping in at this point. It's first time buyers and end users.
I got a question for you. A couple of my seller clients said, Andrew, should we be on the market for the Lunar New Year?
Oh,
I hadn't had that question asked in a couple of years. I just think it's very irrelevant now, that market, that timing now. It was important a few years back when there was a lot of offshore money flowing in,
yeah.
but I don't think it's that important today.
You know what? I think the timing of the Lunar New Year was probably, I don't want to say it was causal. I think it was symptomatic. So I don't think buyers were buying because of Lunar New Year, but I think when buyers were buying in the early spring market,
Yeah.
it always coincided with that. So it was a good idea. Like you say, with the foreign buyer ban, I don't think anybody's taking a vacation anymore to Vancouver to
Buy real estate.
buy real estate.
Yeah.
And at that time of the year, still is just because of the timing. I think it's probably not a bad benchmark to, let's get on the market right after Lunar New Year or
which is
right
very
at Lunar
good.
New Year or
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. I think they're
Yeah.
interchangeable now.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so January's come and gone. We're now into February. We're actually one whole week into February almost. It's moving fairly quick.
So now I'll answer your question.
Yeah. I've been waiting.
So I think the spring market is going to be more of the same. I
Yeah.
think there'll be still lots of listings coming on, but maybe a little bit less in numbers. I think the smart buyers are going to continue to buy into the current market, and we're going to see steady activity for well-priced, well-presented, and easily accessed homes.
Yeah. So no real surprise there. So you
No.
want to make sure your home looks the best it can. Get all your maintenance stuff done, clean it up, declutter it, get the garden looking all tight for spring.
Yes.
And that gives you the best shot of getting a good sale in a timely manner. If you're a seller, and if you're a buyer, make sure you do your homework. There's lots of good stuff out there to look at. Yeah.
We had a Bank of Canada rate decision last week. They held the policy rate at 2.25.
Yep.
Bank rate stayed at 2.5. Deposit rate stayed at 2.2. The word that kept being used was uncertainty. And buyers, they see uncertainty as risk. And nobody likes to pay more in a risky kind of a market. So
Yeah.
my guess is that until some of that uncertainty comes out of the market or people just start to feel that they can act in spite of it, we're going to still see interest rates probably hover around where they are. I don't think there's going to be any big drops coming, and I don't think there's going to be any big lifts coming.
Big changes. I think you're bang on. I was listening to BNN this morning. They had someone talking about the Bank of Canada. They figured at most we might see one rate cut this year. That would be about it. Nothing on the horizon. And I think you're right. Bank of Canada is just looking at the data. They're looking at the data south of the border as well. And I think everything's on hold unless something comes up that gives reason that we need to adjust. I mean, the economy across the country, I think, is basically very stagnant, low productivity, GDP growth about 1% max. And you've got a lot of problems back east in the manufacturing sector. So I think there's definitely a lot of uncertainty. And I
Yes.
think until there's data that gives reason to make any big changes, I think interest rates are going to be kind of level. So that puts the 5-year right now 4.3-ish.
I don't know the exact answer to that.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
in the low fours, though. Low fours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Which for
Historically.
50% of my career, that was an amazing rate.
Oh, yeah. I always think back to 1991 when I bought my first condo,
Yeah.
an 11.75% fixed
Yes.
5-year rate, right? So historically, those rates are low. But for the people who
Andrew,
are younger, the younger
our first
people,
place, I was so excited. We got
yeah,
10.5 and it was looking like when we renewed, we might get under 10. We might
yeah,
be in single digits.
yeah, yeah. And again, the mortgage amount you had back then was a lot less than you would have today, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. The level of debt today is much greater. But for the young people, they've never seen interest rates much above where we are right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
Yeah. So
Or that they were paying attention to anyways.
yeah, yeah.
One thing that we should probably talk about, there's been so many changes in Vancouver, just in the zoning and development and all that. I know we talked a little bit, you and I offline, about the village concept. Can you talk about that a little bit and just sort of what it is and how it all works?
Yeah, the Vancouver plan. And I went online this morning. There's a report you can download. It's like 150 pages. It talks about the Vancouver plan villages.
Yes.
And they come up with this plan to develop across the city as many as 25 villages across the city, some of
Yeah.
which are already in town.
Yes.
I haven't read the information in its entirety, just sort of scanned through it. We actually live in one of the proposed villages, which is the Angus and 57th area,
Oh, great.
which is really kind of neat. And the idea right now it's all out for discussion. They held a whole bunch of meetings, I think, late last year, online meetings, surveying the public, surveying as many people as they can as to what they want in their communities. And it's a way of building up community within a small area, attracting businesses. When people live in a neighborhood, they've got groceries, they've got access to maybe their doctor, they've got an insurance agency, they've got everything they need within a small area. And so they don't have to drive all over the
Yeah.
city to get these things. Keeping people in an area of and vibrancy in a small community. And so Kerrisdale's a good example.
Yeah.
You live along in Kitsilano or West 4th, phenomenal, right? It talks about McDonald and 16th. There's
Yeah.
not that much there right now, but it's a nice little intersection that needs to be further developed. So I think it's a great idea. I mean, Vancouver already is a great walkable city, which so many cities
Or
are
not.
not. But they want to make it that much better. And so I think it's quite exciting what they're proposing.
You know what? I'm tracking right along with you. So, what the research that I pull back is that the Vancouver planning model is treating the city as a network of walkable centers
Yes.
connected by transit and greenways. And so, your point with all of those areas, if people are getting out of their cars and onto the street and visiting businesses and services in those now walkable communities, they're bumping into other people, they're interacting more. That can't help but to make a healthier, stronger, more connected, less anxious community, right? Like it's
The happiest cities are the walkable cities.
yes.
And there's nothing worse if you're in Vancouver, and we all know this, traffic in our city is not pleasant. I mean, there's always, if you want to go across the city from Kerrisdale to Burnaby, it's 45 minutes in the daytime. And it's
Yes.
not like you're on a freeway and you're there moving along at a good pace. It's stop and start the whole way. And by the time you get to your destination, you're uptight, you've been stuck in traffic, someone's cut you off along the way. To have a walkable village where you can get out and just do everything.
Yeah.
Meet people and see these familiar faces makes for a happier environment.
Oh, Andrew, it's funny. We do a lot of work in Kerrisdale in the condos, and
Yeah.
every time I'm there, I park my car, go have a little showing, stop in at the cup of coffee, walk down, go to the stationery store. Oh, do they have a new pen there that's cool? Whatever else.
Automatically.
It's so
Yeah.
much more enjoyable in your butt. You see people, hey, how's it going? You'll have those interactions and you'll continue to build that community.
Yeah. So in 2026, they're going to be looking at all the results of the surveys and this and that, and the plan will go forward from there. I
Yes.
think the city looks at sort of starting to implement what they're proposing as we get into the back end of this year into 2027. So stay tuned on that. There's some good information. If you go to the city of Vancouver and put in villages, it
Yeah.
pops up, and we'll see how that all sort of plays out. But I think it just, again, increases the walkability and vibrancy of our city,
Yeah.
right?
Love that.
Yeah.
Just on my notes here, I'm looking livability improves when density is paired with safe walking and cycling,
Yes.
frequent transit, local services, childcare, groceries, clinics, community spaces.
It's all
Third
within a
place.
15-minute walk, right? 15-minute walk, it's all there.
Yeah. Third places really matter. So density plus places to gather and what fosters community. So the old 2400 court, this is the city's developing 900 rental units there.
Like Kingsway?
Kingsway and Slocan. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
But within the plan, there's also stores, shop fronts, community engagement areas, and what they call third spaces and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. So I think that model is really something that the city can carry out and really work well.
Any reason to not have to get into your car and instead
Oh,
do what you need, so much more pleasant, right? And healthier too, right?
I'm so looking forward to beep, boop, beep. And then an autonomous vehicle comes and picks me up and just takes me.
Well, hey, so I don't know if I told you, I took my first Waymo.
Oh,
When I was in Arizona back in December. So we got the app on our phone,
yeah.
and the Waymo arrived a couple of minutes later, picked us up, and then took us. We didn't do a long drive. It was about a 12-minute drive because we wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
Shopping Plaza. I got to tell you, it was one of the smoothest rides I'd ever been in. It was absolutely fantastic. You open the door, it says, "Welcome, Andrew," or "Welcome to your Waymo, Andrew. Please have a seat and get comfortable and welcome to the calmest ride you're going to be in." There's something like that. It was an English,
Yeah.
and it was just, and of course it was Christmas time. So they had the Christmas carols on in the back of the car. Of course, you could change the music if you wanted to. It was fantastic.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad to hear that you tried it. I mean, there's been millions and millions of rides logged. Like, it's happening. And let me ask you though, like when you first got in, were you like, there's nobody driving this car?
Well, I wouldn't do it on my own. So I went in with Matthew, who of course is very techy,
Yeah, it's good.
to Tesla, right? So he sort of gets all that kind of stuff. And it was great. We got in and there was no one driving it. There was no one in the driver's passenger seat. We were sat in the back. It was very comfortable. It didn't take us on the freeway. It just took us on main roads,
Yeah, okay.
which lanes beautifully. We had to do a left turn across busy traffic. No issues. Yeah. It dropped us off where we wanted to be dropped off. And that was it.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
here's
so
another good
excited for
thing.
that.
You
And you
don't
know
have-
what?
Yeah, one more thing. You don't have to leave a tip. There's no driver, right? So it was, if you're in one of those cities that have Waymos, there's not many.
Yeah,
But Phoenix is one. Definitely try it out. Very cool.
nice.
Yeah.
And that'll help alleviate a lot of the congestion because if you think about your regular car, it sits what 95% of the time it's not doing
Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
So if you've got a car that's roving around and
Working.
servicing 5,
Yeah.
10, 20 people a day,
Yeah.
it puts that whole inefficiency model on its head. So you actually need about a tenth as many cars as are currently on the road. So it frees up all kinds of stuff regards parking, use of the streets, just a million benefits of it, right?
I think one day in the future, many people won't even own a car. There'll be an app. You call the car, it comes, picks you up,
Yeah.
takes you away, or takes you, then it leaves, and it comes back when you need it. I don't know. But again, that's probably that much down the road, but a very cool technology.
Andrew, it's later than you think.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, if you just think back, like how the world has changed in the last 30 years, like it's like if you were someone that passed away, say in 1995, and
Yeah.
came back to life today to see what the world's like today, I
Oh,
mean, it's a different, very different world, right?
yes.
Yeah. You know, oh, when we're all walking around with these handheld computers, which provide instantaneous information. It's a different world today.
It is a different world. What are we doing on our next podcast? I think we might be having a conversation with a developer.
We're talking multiplexes and duplexes with one of Vancouver's developers that specializes in that segment of the market, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And so this is an interesting topic for people that have been in a home for, say, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years.
Yep.
It's an older home on it could be on a 33-foot lot, but let's say you got a 50-foot lot, older house, Vancouver. It's worth close to land value.
Yes.
Maybe you don't want to sell it, but maybe you want to partner with a developer, someone like we're going to be talking to, and build a multiplex on there.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got kids that you want to keep a unit or two. So lots of interesting ideas and thoughts around that discussion.
You know, it's interesting. I've got a lot of clients right now, one with a project underway where multi-generational, they've got a big lot, they're building out the multi-unit.
Yeah.
There's one for each of the kids, parents in the other, and they're going to keep one as a rental or maybe sell it off or as the family sort of progresses and they'll be able to figure out what to do with it. So
Yeah.
I think it's that sort of family compound idea is, I think, growing in popularity.
Yeah.
And with the advent of the missing middle zoning, I think we're going to see a lot more of it.
Well, you'll be able to buy a brand new dwelling on the west side, beautifully built. I mean, you can't right now, but more so for, are we thinking sort of like between 2.5 and 3.5 million, you're going to get a nice new home. It won't be a single family home, but it'll be a lovely, either a half duplex or one unit in a 5-plex setup, which makes it so much more affordable than having to spend 4, 5, 6 million, which,
Absolutely.
right? So it's going to be a lot more available for people that don't have those deep pockets that where in the past you needed 4.5, 5, 6, 7 million to buy a house,
Yes.
right?
Not to give it all away.
No.
So look forward to that next couple of few weeks.
Yeah.
And Andrew, beautiful day out there today. Go and enjoy yourself, and we'll come back for you next time.
All right. Okay. Listen, to all our listeners as well, thanks for watching. We love having you. And,
Yes.
keep subscribing. And
Yeah.
I guess we'll see everyone in about a week or two.
We will, for sure. And thanks, Andrew.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate your time and your attention. If we can be of further help or information, we look forward to hearing from you. We respectfully acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations.